thanks for coming back. I want to shout a special thanks to all my new subscribers. I've hit 100. To me, that's a milestone. I'm almost speechless. I just can't believe it. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm not going to go on too much about that. Thank you to my old subscribers. Thanks to everybody that watched this, and even though you don't subscribe. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'd still be doing what I'm doing, but it makes it a lot nicer when I can share it with somebody. I get some positive feedback. I can get some constructive criticism. But I just get a lot of support. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So, that being said, I got a couple tool acquisitions I'd like to share with you. I've got a small project on the lathe I'd like to share with you. But while I was thinking about the project on the lathe, I got my power hacksaw out and I tried to fix that little pin that seems to not be there that locks the vise into position, and I found something that I really didn't care for. So this is turning out to be a little surprise project. Anyway, let me bring you over here and show you what I got. I set away for these inexpensive machinist jacks, and I kind of did that just for a pattern, just so I could see how maybe something should be made, but I really don't care for it too much. Anyway, I got these Starrett jack extensions, and I like this to go on here and fit fairly well, and it doesn't. Also, I don't know if this was a grade 3 or what. They say it's 1,000-pound capacity, but when you have the screw in here all the way through the threads, you still have wobble side to side. They're about 13 thousandths of an inch of wobble. So that being said, I come over here to the bar. This is one of these bars that I get from the tow bars that I rebuild, and this is the main shaft, and you can, it's kind of bent down here at the end. There we go. You can kind of see that. It's quite a bit out. I kind of got the bad area highlighted down there. But anyway, I want to make a couple of these. So I've got this marked off here. And I'd like to make a couple bases for the bottom. Maybe do a little knurling around them and step them so they fit in here really nice. And that's for those two, and I was just going to go ahead and cut it off here and do the whole thing on the lathe, but I think you know, well, I thought I was going to use Mr. Power Hacksaw on this, but here's what I found on the hacksaw. Here's the movable head of the vise. It actually looks pretty decent, but I thought I should show you guys this. It's cleaning up pretty nice. I put a little oil on it, and I've got one of my stones, and I'm just kind of going over it. And that's kind of where I'm at on that. And I'm just going to kind of go over this whole thing, clean it up, take off any high spots on the ridges, just so the vise swivels back and forth as it should. Okay. Here's the vise as it sat in the hacksaw. This was supposed to slide up and back on here, but it was getting bound up on here, so I took a razor blade. I recently watched a video out there where Steve Summers takes a razor blade and takes the rust right off of the top of the cast iron, and it works pretty good. So that's where I've got with it so far. I thought I just had a bunch of nicks where somebody took a hammer to it. It actually looks like scraping. So and so now that I could see it's actually scraping because it's the same pattern throughout the thing, I feel a whole lot better with that. But I found this little pin inside here, and the pin fits in here perfectly, so I think that's where it's going to stay. But I didn't realize this dovetail here, everything's adjustable on it. There. I loosened it up quite a bit. And I still can't get it freed up. So I want to get this all cleaned up before I continue on my project over there. I just wanted to see if I could actually, I was going to do this and just kind of cut the tube, or no, the oh man, I was going to actually just clean this all up and cut the round stock over there and not even worry about putting anything on here about the hacksaw, but I thought you guys would really like to see it. I didn't realize there was a dovetail on this vise, and this thing actually slides up and back. And you could lock it with the gib here. But this thing here, these here are little keepers. They're supposed to be inside here to help the movable jaw of the vise stay down flat. Well, it was flexing quite a bit because these were in line with the slot, not this way. They're supposed to be 90 degrees to the slot, and they were in line with the slot, so I wasn't getting much holding the darn thing down. That's why I was not getting good clamping on here. But this is where we're at right now. I'm going to go ahead and show you the bottom. It's actually pretty decent. It does have some pitting on it, but I don't think that's from anything as far as corrosion goes. I think those were voids in the surface, or I mean in the casting when it was surfaced. So this actually looks really good. I'll just clean it up, run a stone over it, and put it back on there. But this thing here is not moving, and I really don't want to tap on it. I know I just made the brass hammer and stuff, but I'm going to work on this just a little bit more, and I'll bring you guys back. So I'll go ahead and put some penetrant down inside here on these dovetails, and we'll go ahead and there, let's get you up here so you can see what I'm actually doing. There, sorry guys. We'll get some penetrant up here and soak down in these dovetails because it just doesn't want to let go, and I've got the screws backed off pretty far. I was going to try to take them out, but these two up here got really tight backing them up. I got a feeling the heads might be a little bit mushed on them, so I don't want to back them out too far. Anyway, I'll do what I said the first time. I'll put some penetrant on it and we'll get back to that. As I get all the rubbiness off my hands, this thing is pretty locked on there. I bet you it hasn't been moved in a whole lot of moons. So as for my tool score, I want to thank Tom Knopf over at Hilltop Machine for making these available to me very reasonably. These are Starrett, adjustable. Yeah, I put different duct tape on it because the other stuff was getting kind of gummy. Adjustable parallels. So slide very nice. So my first set of adjustable parallels, all I have to do is get the small one that's got the 3/8 to 1/2 inch range, and I've got a complete set right here. So see, thanks for helping me get started on that, Tom. I really appreciate it. My tool purchase from eBay was these three items here. I was looking for a depth micrometer, and this lot popped up. The first item over here is a nice little micrometer. I really didn't need another micrometer, but there's no carbide tip or anything in it. but it slides very smooth. I put the gauge block on it. It's dead on an inch when it's open, and it says it's an inch on here. It's got the wrenches, the Stillen masking tape or whatever kind of tape. Got the instructions for it, and it doesn't look like it's ever really been used. So it's a really nice little set there. There's no maker's mark or no owner's mark or anything on them. My second acquisition here, since I wasn't knowing how deep my holes were, was this Starrett depth micrometer. It came with 2 different rods, well 3 I guess, there's one in it. It came in a brown and short box, but I didn't much care about the box since I'm got it in a piece of foam in my toolbox drawer up there now. But this is how it came, and this is going to help me quite a bit. I'm really happy about this. And the last one is a tubular mic. So I'm not really sure how to use this. I'm not even going to try to fake it. I'm not going to tell you that everything seems to be okay on it, because I really don't know. I need a little education on this before I even try playing with it. So, but it looks like everything's here. I mean, for the most part that I can tell. And for all 3 of these, it was a very good price. I got it, actually, I bought it just for this item here. And I considered it a good price just for this item. Anyway, that's where I'm at on my tools. Let me take you over and show you what I've done to the vise. This is the adjustable stop that I really wasn't sure about in that last purchase of 33 pounds of stuff that I got off of eBay. So I was starting looking at my Bridgeport vise here on my mill, and it seems like somebody else milled the back side of this flat except for a tiny ridge. So I just took down the tiny ridge and drilled these, tapped them, dug up a set of I think they're called Philister head screws, put them in there, and it works like a champ. So that's going to be a really nice addition there. I did lose a lot of video. I'm not going to spend too much time crying about it. When I went to load everything from my Las Vegas vacation, I had an issue with the memory cards, and I had them in the computer, in the Mac, and I took them out and I put them back in the camera. I could view them again. I put them in the Mac. It said they were corrupt. My son's trying to peel them off for me, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I had a lot of media on there that I lost. I did the build on the, not the build, but I did the installation on the vise. I also did this cool little handle right here. I did this really nice little handle build, cap build here. I made this out of the same metal out of these axles for the tow bars. This is what was on it originally, this nut right here, and I had to mess around with having a socket on there, and I really didn't much care for that, so I made myself a test one in aluminum, drilled it and tapped it, and got it to sit on there, but it's a little too big around. It was aluminum and it wasn't going to last too long. So I made this cute little one here out of the same steel, and it would still be on here if it wasn't for the fact that when I faced it, I went a little bit too deep there, and I started twisting out the center, and so that led me making this one here just a little bit taller, but I think she works out really well, and it's going to be a really nice addition to the lathe. I made these handles here for them also. I did not make these, the tips to the handles. I got these at my local metal supplier. I think they were only about 35 cents. And I picked up a handful of these last time I was over there, and they're coming in handy. But I did make the 2 handles, and I turned them and threaded them. They're 1/2 inch 13 on both sides. So that's where I'm at with that. So well guys, thanks for joining me, and please come back for part 2 where I kind of finish cleaning this thing up, get started on our little jack project over here, and I got a couple other things in the works, but I don't want to spill the beans because 2 of my ideas fell through this past week. So I'll kind of keep everything under wraps, but I am working on some new content. I'm working on some new acquisitions. So just be patient and hang with me, and we'll have fun together, okay? This is Flathead Ron. Thanks for joining me in the shop today. I appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks to all my subscribers. This is Flathead Ron. Have a good evening. Bye.